Hey guys, so we're doing a tutorial of or how to do bare root strawberries. So I'll see you in the video. Hope to see you there. Okay, so what I did is I set up about 13 or so pots, and I have it filled up with soil to the line that came in the pot, which gives it about half an inch or so of room for like water and whatnot. And I did that with this one already, but it's kind of hard to see in a black pot what I'm referencing, and none of the pots are the same size because, you know, that would be too easy. So I have my strawberries here soaking. I'm going to set you guys down, hopefully, in a good spot. There we go. Maybe I can get it adjusted. Oh no! Okay, so let's do it like that. Let's grab our dirt and strawberries. I'm just using the bag because they still have some of the moss that they came in on tops of them, so I'm just trying to shake it off a little. And that way it gives you guys a little better idea of what I'm referencing. Okay, so the roots are like this. If you need to trim a little bit of the roots, don't be afraid to do so, but I'm going to let this guy just be. Maybe I can get them in there. Okay, so this is the plant section of the strawberry. Let me see if I can bring them up. And then this section right here is the crown. And the crown goes to about right here, so it's about to your first knuckle. So that's how big it is, to your first knuckle from the green section of the plants. So what you're gonna want to try to do is get the roots displayed in such a way that allows you to fill in the pot without touching the crown. So let me grab this little pot over here. Just getting some more dirt. Okay. So I'm gonna grab some more dirt. And so what you want to do is keep in mind that crown that's right here. So you're going to want to put your fingers around the bottom of the crown and shake in some dirt. It's okay if you shake it in and it touches, because you're going to be moving the dirt. Alright, and then we're just going to press down and around the strawberries like such. Now, it's okay if you have space right here. Let's see if I can't get you guys some better lighting. I know my light kind of sucks, so hold on. Oh, if I can get you to stand, that is. Alright, hopefully that'll keep you still. Okay. So, do we have a lower setting? Yes. Okay, so right here is the crown, and this little bit of root is okay. But if you want to add a little bit of more dirt, you can. Do just add a little bit more. And you're just going to push that around and pat it down. Alright, and that still leaves a little bit of the root exposed, but that's okay. The majority of the roots are below the ground and the crown is not being touched. So when you put this soil into your next pot or into your actual garden bed, you're going to do it to this soil level, because this soil level is not touching the crown, keeping the crown from being too moist. And that helps you prevent root rot. Now, you can be daring and go all the way up to the actual crown itself, but you want to leave a little bit of gap so that way your strawberry plant doesn't get too wet and too mildewy. So this guy here has a little bit of growth, it looks like. It's got some new growth right here. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be sticking it over there in the grow light section until these guys have an adequate amount of green on them, and so that way I can also guarantee that they are ready to go outdoors. And I'm going to have to acclimate them to outdoors because they're going to get used to being indoors, but right now this is a grace period for them so they don't get all like dried out and everything like that. So yeah, so basically you want a good potting mix. What I'm using is the Kellogg Patio Plus. I usually use the raised bed mix, but this was $1 cheaper and my budget only could afford this bag, so I got that bag. So try it out. It is 1.5 cubic feet. I do believe the raised bed mix is 2 cubic feet, so it has half a cubic feet more. And then what I did is I took the mossy material that was in here, and I'm not going to be able to do it for all of them, but for these few that I can, I took the mossy material that was in here and I mixed some of that patio mix with it, so that way I had some of the original material in with the plants. And so I'm going to do that with all of these plants here, as many of them as I can, but ideally you want to do just one single plant per pot. So let's see if we can't get another one potted up. And I've also put some of the regular patio mix in the bottom. Now ideally I do this outside, but for the sake of wind factor and that it is dark outside and I don't want to get a light out, we're going to do it like this. Now what I'm doing is brushing off that moss mixture the best I can, trying to find a single strawberry and its roots. And then we're going to grab that one little dude there. So this one gives a little bit better structure and everything. These dead runners here, if you can, just pluck them off. Okay. This one looks like it is maybe 2. And that's another reason for soaking. It kind of separates them a little. So it looks like these in the nursery, one were in sandy soil. So that's another idea to do, is put them in sandy soil. Okay, I can't get these separated with actual like out harming the plant kind of scenario, so I'm just going to tuck all the roots down in there. Like I said, you can trim the roots, but I'm going to leave them be for right now. And because I know not all of the plants can have the same material, they're just going to get a patio mix for this one. Now this is a temporary pot for these, So I'm not super worried if I have more than one in the pot. Ultimately, I will separate them later, and that way I can make sure that they're just singular. So I'm just going to keep in mind where the crown is for these guys. Now if you do cover the crown, it's not the end of like everything. And if you do ultimately end up breaking these guys, just take the breaking part, put it in there, mix it in. It's still growing, so that one spot won't grow, but the rest of it will. So ultimately you'll end up with something similar to this. They do not have to be perfect centered in the pots, although center would be ideal. But if you can't do it, don't worry about it too awful much. Now I know that these guys are dry mixed into the pots there, but I find that if I use wet, it's harder to clean up, especially if I decide to do it inside. So I just keep it dry so I could use a vacuum. But that is pretty much it for the tutorial. Every single strawberry is going to be very similar. Whether or not I use this mix or not, it's going to go in the exact same way. So basically, ideally, you're just going to want to make sure you keep at least the crown above the soil. If a little bit of the root shows, that's fine. And you want to have it in a well-draining soil. So like I said, those plants were in a sandy soil originally. You can tell by the way that the dirt feels when you go to wipe it off of them. It's very sandy. So you can put strawberries in a semi-sandy soil. I wouldn't say necessarily grow them on the beach, but you could potentially grow them in some sandy soil. So let me see. Here's another good one. If it'll focus just right, you can kind of see the sand on the leaf there and there. And this gives you a better idea that not all crowns are really big. Some of them are really small. If my fingers will get out of the way. So this section of the roots right here, those you can actually, like these little ones, you could probably leave those exposed about yay much right here. So you just pinch it to about right there. And then from there, you could just bury the rest of these in soil and then it'll be fine. While you're doing other things, I would say keep them in their water so that way they don't get all dried out, and that kind of ruins the whole process of what you're ultimately doing. And some of them are really, really small, so be mindful when you have these in water of how drenched they truly get. But that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you guys learned something new and follow along for more progress on how these strawberries do. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!